Hello everyone, this is Mahdi Gilbert, and I thought I would make a breakdown video. I've seen this type of video online before, people breaking down certain things, and I think that the only way that I can really bring some of my ideas to some people is through example. A lot of my ideas are very abstract seeming, but they're all grounded in reality, so I thought I would show how that looks. Let's watch one of my performances. I thought I'd use my own performances because I don't want to be criticizing other people publicly. You know, I'm a very nice guy. So let's watch one of my performances and talk. So let's start off and I'll explain what's happening.
Who here's good at math? Somebody, maybe your accountant or
Okay, so just starting off, I did a routine before this that had to do with numbers, and you know, I'm asking who here is good at math. Maybe you're an accountant. You can hear some people chuckle. This is not meant to be funny. I mean, it sort of is being funny, but it's not meant to get a big laugh. But there is tension in the room. You are a magician. There's always tension. And I always love to play with that idea of keeping that tension high in different moments. And so, you know, when I'm asking who, you know, maybe you're an accountant, it's sort of like, okay, it's a little bit funny. But anyways, let's keep going. Asking for somebody to come up, somebody.
this lady, have her come up. No, seriously. No, but just, for example.
Okay, so this is funny. So I'm asking for a spectator, you know, maybe somebody who's good at math, and immediately I got resistance from, you know, there were a group of people who wanted their friend to go up, and I couldn't see, you know, when you're on stage you can't see. So they're like, oh, we want our friend to go up, blah, blah, blah. She's good at math, she's good at math. And I'm trying to get this person to come, but she doesn't want to go. And this is all happening in seconds, but this is sort of just the management. This is all happening in seconds of interaction. So I dropped this line over here.
No, seriously. No, but just, for example, just come up.
So, you know, that's funny, you know, no, but seriously, no, but just for example, come on up. And then she comes, and it's sort of this, you know, this thing where it's like, oh, we don't want to come up, and instead of me trying to beg somebody or jump to the next person, in those moments, you don't want to give that audience power, because immediately you lose a ton of status in the eyes of the audience if somebody doesn't want to come up, and you just let them not come up. Sometimes somebody doesn't want to come up and they have a genuine reason why they don't want to come up. Maybe it's hard for them to come up on stage or something like that. Maybe they're just, you know, they're not the right fit. They can't go up on stage. This was not one of those situations. So always when you're in that situation, you have to sort of crush that and get them up there so that you can continue, because that's a time killer. I mean, you can tell we're already 26 seconds in, and time is just going by. I need to get somebody. We need to keep this show moving. So, yeah, come up. No, but, you know, like, for example, come up. Okay, the lady comes up. It's just one of those things that, you know, that's sort of me improvising, but it's just one of those things you need to sort of reject their refusal and get them up so you can continue the show.
Yeah, and everybody just awkwardly staring at her.
So again, you know, another line, just trying to have fun with it. You know, you sort of are frustrated and this person is holding you up. So, like, probably that's not a line I use, that's sort of just off the cuff. But, you know, she sort of like was coming up begrudgingly, and you can tell as soon as she comes up, you can see she's totally into it, but you do face that initial resistance, and that's something that you have to overcome. I'm not a fan of the line I just used, to be quite honest, but that is what I said. I'm not in control of what comes out of my mouth sometimes. But that's not a funny line to me. It was funny in the moment, but it's not something I would typically use because it's too rough, and I'm trying to be gentler with the audiences these days. I've worked in a lot of environments, so I can be pretty crude, but I'm trying to be softer these days. Anyways, let's keep going.
Okay, I don't know if you're actually good at math. Do you know what this number is? 10. Okay, I think we're starting out.
Again, not something I would recommend, just an awkward thing. That's the thing, like, sometimes I'm throwing stuff out there, I think it's gonna be funny, but it's not funny, or I'm just trying to make a connection with people. That is probably something that now looking at it, I would say, okay, that would be cut. That's a line. I had this napkin on the table from a previous trick. I would probably cut that if I were being honest, because it doesn't add anything to the show. And also the way I get rid of that is just not good. I throw it on the floor. Just toss that napkin on the floor. Not a good look. But then, I'm also thinking about my frame. So when I'm performing and there's an audience, but there's a camera that's filming me, and then that's being projected so the audience can see what I'm doing. So I kind of wanted just to get that napkin out of frame, which is why I threw it down. But not, and here's another thing. She comes, she has her drink. It's tough because when somebody's holding something, sometimes you want them to hold something, shuffle, do whatever. I had a difficult situation because she could put her drink down clearly, but you don't want to be telling somebody that. Usually if I'm bringing somebody up, they're not carrying a drink in their hand, or if they are, they can leave it to a friend or something, just so it's not in the way. Also, it's like, I don't even know what she's drinking. It's like a can of something. But anyways, that's what's going on. Just letting you know.
What is your name? I'm Jeanette. Jeanette. Ah, like the famous singer from Spain who sang Por qué te vas?
Okay, so let's keep...
Are you Spanish?
So that's really a singer from Spain that was famous in the 1970s, I think, and that was one of her famous songs. But Jeanette is sort of a rare name these days, so I was assuming that you would know it. That's not really a joke for the audience, but that's just me. It's just me being me, and you could hear some gasps. People don't know that those references are coming. You hear those gasps. It's kind of fun. We're just trying to have fun. But that is what's happening in that moment, just in case you're like, what on earth is he talking about, Jeanette? Oh, are you Spanish? She looked Spanish, honestly. And then I say something that is a little inappropriate. But again, you do stuff in the moment and you're like, oh, that's not good. But you'll see what I mean. No.
But you have the teeth.
So immediately I said she has the teeth because, Spanish girls, not all of them, but, if sometimes you have these Spanish girls who have really big front teeth. I don't know if it's a genetic thing or what. Maybe it's a stereotype. Maybe I'm being incredibly offensive right now, but it's something I've noticed. And she had teeth like that. So I was just throwing it out there. But again, it's a little, I'm being honest. It's a little too much. It's a little too much. And she was nervous by that. You can see she immediately goes to laugh, but also cover her teeth, I believe. That is true. I do have to stop. I just got to get on with the trick. We're already a minute and 30 seconds in, and I'm out of control.
They say I could do that. Alright, let's do something with you. It's sort of the same thing. You'll take a card, just say stop whenever you want.
Okay. Stop.
Here, and we'll take the card, and you remember it, and we'll use this card. How many cards are in a deck of cards?
So when I'm doing that, I will say, just looking at myself, I was sort of nervous. Technically, I wasn't sure of something, but you can see I'm thinking. I'm not focusing on her. I'm focusing on the cards too much when I'm doing that. That is something that you don't want to do. You want to be connected with the audience. You want to be looking at the audience. But I wasn't. So that is a note I would make. And again, I'm asking all these questions. I like to do this. This is sort of my style. I have a slower pace. Generally, though, I would say that it's probably better to be faster. I'm slow for certain reasons. I speak slowly. I sort of move slowly. And I use that to create tension. But anyways, I ask her how many cards are in the deck.
52. Yeah. 52. So if you were to estimate, if we were to put your card about this far down, if you were to estimate, how far down would you say it was? Not the exact number, but if you had to estimate, how far down? Like 20, like what?
20.
Or 30? Or what?
I'll say 25.
25. 25. You're good enough. 25 or less.
Okay, I'll say 20.
Okay, 20.
So I'm asking her, how far down it is. If she had to estimate, she's saying 25 or 20 or 20. So this is the beginning of the routine. I'm just trying to establish the parameters of the situation, so that later we can show the contrast. And this is so much of what separates weak magic from strong magic. It's clarity. So I'm making things very clear. Also, in this effect, let me just jump back by a few moments. If I am usually having a card selected from a deck and it's in an ambitious card routine type thing, I generally wouldn't be having that card taken out of the deck and put back in. Ideally, I would just have them name a card or touch a card. That card stays in the middle because that card's about to come up to the top. I don't want to be taking that out beforehand. I want to be leaving that visual of it in the middle. I just think it's fair. I think it's fair to leave something in the middle than to have it taken out and then being put back in. I did it for this routine. I'm breaking my own rules, but it's because of the structure of this particular set that I did that. I could have done anyways without getting too much into the technical details. There's a reason why I did it the way I did it, but ideally, if I'm just doing this trick with no other trick around it, I would leave that card in the middle. Okay, let's keep going. So 25 or 20. Okay, now you're gonna see she's gonna be confused, and that's okay. We're gonna get to that.
20.
Yes.
20. Or less.
Okay, 25 or 20. And she's like, okay, 20. She thinks I'm trying to correct her. Okay, 20. Maybe it's a little weird that I'm correcting her, but she's kind of nervous. Maybe she doesn't know where the card is. Or 20. Okay, or 20. Or less. Now she's thinking, what? What do you mean less? What do you mean less? What do you mean less? Let's keep going.
20.
Or less. like 19 or 18.
So, or less, like 19 or 18. So I'm not, she made a first estimate 25. I'm correcting it by quite a margin. I'm not correcting it by 1 or 2 cards. I'm correcting it by 5 cards. So that's quite a bit. But then 20, okay, 20. Or maybe 19, maybe 18. Now she's starting to think like, where is this going? There's something happening here. I'm not aware. There's a game here. She can tell that it's a game, that it's fun, but she doesn't know where it's going. And so you can see there's tension. I'm creating tension, and the audience is releasing, and she's releasing that tension by laughing, because there is tension, and that tension is just created by my focus on whatever response they're giving me, and changing it, and people not really knowing. It's sort of awkward, but it's beyond awkwardness. I want to describe it as just awkwardness, but you can see there's a laugh and then release.
Okay.
You see, she's like, oh, okay. She doesn't know what to say, and anything she says right now, whether it's okay or sure or whatever, no, whatever she would say, it would get a laugh because we have that tension. This is very important. This has a lot to do with magic, tension. But you just notice she said okay, she got a laugh.
Yeah, 20 or less.
Oh, okay, I get it. 20 or less. She's just repeating what I'm saying. Poor girl. She doesn't know where we're going with this. So she's just trying to, be polite. But there's so much tension that no matter what she says, no matter what I do, I'm just making it more awkward and tense, and it's just becoming funnier and funnier because nobody knows what to do with themselves or with me or with her or our communication.
20 or less. Or less, like 19. 19?
Okay, 19.
Okay, and you can she turns around, she looks to her friend in the audience like she's like 20 or less, like 19, and she looks to her friend in the audience, and she like gives a little smirk like like what am I supposed to do here? And it's just becoming funnier and funnier for the audience.
Or less, like 18.
So now she's gotten used to this pattern. I've gotten her from 25 to 20, then to 19, and now to 18. She's getting used to agreeing with whatever I'm saying. And whatever I'm saying, I'm trying to put it back on her and keeping that tension and go further and getting her used to being compliant.
18.
18.
Or less, or less.
You see, in that moment, 18. And then, you can see she raises her eyebrows. She's letting me know, I agree with you. I'm playing by your rules. And it is funny for the audience. And it's just building up that tension because now there's a question in their mind, which is, where is this going? And, why does it keep going less or less? Why does he keep wanting it to go less? And I'm not stopping. I'm looking at the audience, and then I'm just looking back at her, or less. Like,
17.
Or less, or less.
15?
okay, you can see now she's almost making fun because she doesn't know what to do. The audience doesn't know what to do. So, okay, 17, or less. 15? And she's laughing, the audience is laughing, and at this moment I just sort of, I'm not moving the cards, really, I'm not changing the order, but I'm just pushing the cards and just enacting in my own head, counting of the cards, see like, 15, what is this girl talking about? I'm just making it as, not confusing, I wouldn't say confusing, but it's really hard to describe what's going on psychologically, but I'm just want to be unsure, but also very determined to get to a certain place.
15. Or less, like 14.
So again, and she doesn't know where this is going, and also it's getting more and more impossible because at first when we went from 20 to 25 it was reasonable, maybe I was helping her, and then from 20 to 19, okay, it's a little weird. 18, 17, it's getting stranger and stranger. 15, maybe 14, no, not 14, let's go to 10. Now we're getting to that zone where they know their card's not at 10. They know it's not at 10. And they know that we put it inside the middle. They're just going along with it. They know their card's in the middle. They're saying 10. The whole goal is to get them to a certain place. But for them to not only accept the conditions that you're showing them, but to solidify it. So oftentimes in Magic, we don't make ideas clear enough or strong enough for people. So this is really them cementing those ideas, those notions in their own mind, and I'm just bringing them down a path, but they're equal actors, maybe even more than me, in this particular piece. So I'm, I'm counting 10. I'm incredulous, but then I accept it because she said it. She said it, so I accept it. You'll see the shift.
Your friend said you were good at math.
Of course, I throw it a joke because I'm. But let's keep going.
10? Okay, 10. 10. Or less.
So, boom, accepted at 10, or less. And as soon as, and you can see that tension, there's sort of that release of tension calming. Okay, 10, or less. And as soon as, boom, that's like a valve. As soon as it's released, you can see she turns her head away, and she starts laughing. Let's go back just 3 seconds.
10 or less.
She doesn't know what to do. She's covering her face. She's brushing her hair away. She's accepting the game. She's gotten sucked into a game. She's accepted it, and we're continuing the game. And you can see it in her body language. She's sitting more straight up. Her arms are crossed. You would think that it's almost closed off body language, but it's absolutely not. It's like a playful defiance. Just that body position that she's in right now. Everything that I'm seeing, I understand that she's into it. There's a lot going on in terms of the body language, which I could sit talking for hours, but I'm seeing that she's getting more and more into the game, and you can see it. She's more defiant. She's staring head on at me. There's no more questioning. There's more of a confidence. She's gained a confidence because when I put her in a position of confusion, there was more of a nervousness, which was building that tension. That tension is still there, but it shifted from a tension of nervousness to defiance. You see, now she's copying what I'm saying, or less. And she's still, even though she's having that defiance, she's still a little bit nervous. You can tell just the way she says or less. There's a hesitancy there when she's saying it. But as soon as I just give her that approval, and she's going to pick up on that approval right away, she's going to get more and more into the game. Or 5. You see that? You see what she just did? Let's go back. Just 2 seconds. You see that? Or 5. Now, that's exactly what I want. And she was nervous. She gave me what she thought I wanted. I did want it. She's giving it to me. She's giving it to the audience. We're going along that route. And now she's playing into that tension with the audience. And you can see that laughter because it's not only me that's creating this humor, it's her, and she is doing it intentionally.
5, 4. What's the next word I'm going to say? Or?
Again, just sucking her deeper into the game. When I ask her 5 or, and I'm trying to get her to say a lower number. I am. But there's that hesitancy. You can tell she's very divine. She's very confident in some ways, but there's some hesitancy. So as soon as I see that she's not responding, I cut in and I say, or, what's the next word I'm going to say? Or, and she knows the answer is less. So she can say it, she can get that approval from both me, from the audience, and also go along by saying that lower number. Like 1? She knows. She knows where it's going. She knows where it's going by now. But it's hard for her to believe it. And you can see that. That's why she does have that hesitancy. That's even though she's having fun with it, she does have that hesitancy. So just so you guys can understand what's going on.
1. But we put your card in the middle. It would be impossible.
And it's funny, she didn't want to take a drink at that moment. But that's sort of like a calming action that people take in certain things. Like, usually people, look, you're in front of a group of people. You don't, actually eating or drinking in front of a group of people is stressful to most people. Just like speaking, just like doing anything else. And she probably doesn't want to be drinking in that motion, but she does. And that's sort of a way to calm herself. Not calm like she's in duress or anything, but just because the tension is so high. She's been getting approval, she's been getting release, but there hasn't been a payoff yet. So, and everybody knows there's going to be a payoff. They're understanding the rules of the game, but this is still a calming action. And I'm sort of a jerk. I say something funny here to make her laugh right as she's drinking. But let's see it.
Put your card in the middle. It would be impossible. It would be impossible for it to be 1 because we put it in the middle. Yeah.
So again, we just went through a lot as a group together, through the laughing, through the changes, through all the questions, the hesitancy, the uncertainty. And so this is just me. I've established the conditions. We've established the conditions from the beginning, and we've had those conditions very clear in our mind. We do. But I verbalize it before I get to that reveal, that climax, just so I can create the strongest contrast possible. I want that contrast to be as strong as possible so that people can really experience the strength of the magic with absolute clarity. Clarity is a huge part of magic. But so again, let's go.
And you said 1 without any hesitation.
So, not only am I clarifying, but now I'm almost making. I'm lying to the audience. Like, oh, we put it in the middle. I asked you where you thought it was. You said 1 without any hesitancy. The audience laughs at that. She laughs at that. But it also establishes what is going to happen going forward as well. But also sort of summarizes. I'm summarizing everything that happened, but I'm doing it in a disingenuous way to, elicit that response.
No one influenced you. Nobody made you change your mind. Step one. Turn over the top card and show.
Okay, so we've gotten her to laugh. We've gotten we've gotten that humor out of it, and then she's relaxing, she's laughing, and then it's just me going back to that card and saying, "Turn over that top card." That would be impossible, but let's see.
To everyone. Now, you understand the game?
And now I'm asking, do you understand the game? She does, the audience does, everybody does at this point. So when we continue and we get to that next phase, they understand that it's not a one-off. We're repeating in a very similar way, but it's not the same thing.
You understand?
Understand what?
Math? Look, put it on top. And here's what we'll do. We'll do it again. Look, if I cut the deck about halfway, and I put about half the deck on top of your card, how many cards go on top if you were to estimate?
20 or less.
No.
So immediately she said 20 or less. And it's really funny. You're going to see what I do, and I will correct this, but let's watch.
It was more, look, let's be real. It was more like 35. But if you want 20, we can do 20 or less. What do you prefer, 20 or less?
Less.
Right?
One.
Okay, so again, she understands the rules of the game. I'm trying now to seem ridiculous, like, oh, well, it wasn't actually 20, it was more like 35. But if you want 20, we can give you 20 or less. And and she goes, oh, okay, what? And, everybody's laughing, she's laughing. But again, I look surprised by that, how could she possibly be saying that? It's just to, that's honestly just to keep it funny for her, funny for everyone.
You're smarter than...
Choosing it.
No. One? But you know it's not one because we put it in the middle. For it to be one, it would have to be exactly on top of it.
Now again, I've just, full on just let her say one, boom, and then reveal, go straight to it. Everybody understands. I could have dragged it out. It really depends on her response. It's different with every person, every single time. But people understand now, they get the plot, and it makes it stronger than the card just coming up to the top for no reason. It's coming up because she wants it to come up, because I want it to come up.
Maybe you think that I'm influencing you because, guys, if you turn off the light, if you turn on the light, it's, we're very ugly here. Just keep that off.
So, this is just me making a silly comment. I'm a silly guy. What can I say?
No. Because you think perhaps I'm influencing you, correct? It's possible.
It's possible.
Because I'm asking you questions, you think that you are making a decision, but maybe I'm having you change your mind? What if I don't make you change your mind? What if you have complete control? Do you like control?
Of course.
Do you want control?
Yes.
This
Again, why is she laughing there? Just because of that tension. I just hold it and I look at her, and I honestly, I look so goofy. I swear. I look so goofy that she has no choice but to laugh because, like, what would you do? What would you do with a face like this staring at you? You have to laugh.
time you'll choose where your card goes. I won't say anything.
Okay.
Say stop wherever you want.
Stop.
We have to put the card in the middle first.
Okay.
Say stop.
Stop.
Here. Watch your card. The rest of the deck doesn't matter. I don't do anything.
You see, why are people laughing? Why is it so quiet? That's the tension. And every single time I stop and I look at her, people laugh to release some of that tension. But the tension's growing.
Where was your card?
Where was it?
Yeah. It was there. But tell me, where's your card now?
Where is it now?
Yeah. Oh, where your card is.
And you can see that laughter. Again, that's all tension. That's not even me. That's just the tension. I'm not even that funny. That's just the tension. Where's your card? You know where the card is.
Too savage.
No comment.
Yeah, your card's there.
Okay, in all honesty, this was a mistake, and I do recover. I am recovering. This is not how it's structured, but it is funny in that tension. No, your card's in the middle. It's just, this is just me recovering right now. And this is a recovery. I want you to see this recovery in action.
No, for real, because she said that she wanted the card over here. So where did we put the card? I told you to pay attention to it.
It's one of these.
Which one?
I don't know.
Okay, it's one of these or less.
You see, now everybody's laughing. One of these or less?
It's one of these.
No, I think it was like over here.
I think it was somewhere here.
No, I think it was like over here. No, because I remember. You remember I put the card in here, right? Or was it over here?
No.
Or was it over here?
No. No.
But it wasn't over here?
Just honest.
I know, but you know also, because the card always ends up exactly the same place.
Okay, so that was the performance, and that's me breaking it down. It's there's a lot happening. I just wanted to talk about how I create the tension in this, how I sort of play with their mind to get them to understand the plot, but not only understand the plot, but become almost co-conspirators, helping me make that magic happen by just agreeing and going along with that game. There's so much going on here in terms of psychology and timing. There was a lot of little mistakes by me as well. to be quite honest. Every single time I do the stuff, I try to do better. I try to learn. But I will put the link down below for that uncut performance on my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel. You guys can watch that. If you guys do like these breakdown videos, please leave a message in the comments. And if you want me to break down what I think of your magic or another one of my performances, let me know. I'll only break down somebody's performance if they ask me to. So I can either do that publicly through this channel, or you can do it privately. And privately, I don't really just do it, to be quite honest. I mean, people pay me to help them with their work. But I'm trying to provide this service to put some of my concepts and ideas into a format that you can understand. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you liked it, like, share, do all that stuff. And let me know what you want me to break down next. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, another thing I want to do. If something has been televised, like, TV special, I will be breaking those down if I'm allowed to. I don't know what the YouTube rules are, but I would love to. So thanks again for watching, and have a great day wherever you are in the world.